Some days you just need a minute.
I'm 77 now, and folks still ask me the same tired question every damn time. Don't you want someone, Harlan? Aren't you lonely out there all by yourself? What about companionship in your golden years? So, I tried it. 12 years back, when I was 65, I gave in and found myself a girlfriend. Everyone clapped me on the back like I'd won the state lottery. About time, Harlan. You deserve happiness. Love's never too late, they said. But here's the part nobody ever whispers. I was a hell of a lot lonelier with her than I've ever been rattling around alone. Let me tell you how it went down. My wife, Marjorie, left us when I was 59. Massive heart attack while she was hanging laundry on the line out back. 1 second she was humming "You Are My Sunshine," the next she was gone. Those early years after? Brutal. The old farmhouse in Willow Creek felt like a tomb. Sundays were killer. We'd always drive to the farmer's market in Easton, pick up fresh corn and peaches, then sit on the porch swing sharing stories till the stars came out. Without her, Sundays felt like a slow punishment, but time has a way of carving new paths. I started stopping by Miller's Hardware on Main Street just to shoot the breeze with old Pete behind the counter. Joined the Willow Creek Model Railroad Society that met Tuesdays at the community hall. Built a whole HO-scale layout of the old Midland Pacific line that used to run through here. Taught myself to make decent chili and cornbread instead of just opening cans. Got a routine. It wasn't the life Marjorie and I dreamed up, but it was steady, and it was mine. Then my daughter Sarah started in. We were at her place in Riverton for Thanksgiving dinner, and she cornered me. "Dad, you need to meet someone. You're too isolated." I said, "I'm managing fine." She shot back, "Managing isn't living. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely." She wouldn't drop it. Neither would my buddies at the American Legion Post. Frank pulled me aside one night over a beer. "You're still a young pup at 65, Harlan. Don't throw in the towel." I started wondering if they were right. Maybe I was hiding. Maybe something was broken in me for not wanting more. So I signed up for one of those senior dating apps. Took me 10 days to upload a photo without cutting my head off. Another week to write something that didn't sound like an obituary. But the messages rolled in, and damn if I didn't feel a spark I hadn't felt since the 70s. Wanted. That's how I met Evelyn. She was 61, a retired school librarian from Pine Hollow, about 40 miles east. Widowed 5 years. Warm laugh in her voice messages. Asked about my train setup like she actually cared. We chatted online a month, then phone calls, then met for coffee and pie at the Bluebird Diner just off Highway 12. She talked about her 2 grandkids in Colorado, her Thursday knitting circle, how she'd been volunteering at the animal shelter. Driving home that afternoon in my old Ford pickup, windows down, I thought, hell, maybe this is it. Maybe everyone's been right all along. The first 6 months felt good. We'd grab supper at the Riverside Grill twice a week, catch afternoon showings at the Starlight Cinema because tickets were half price, stroll the boardwalk along Willow Lake when the weather cooperated. It felt normal, like I'd been stubborn for thinking solitude suited me better. But then the little cracks appeared. She'd text good morning at 7, then call at noon to check in, then again at 6 to plan dinner. Sweet at first. Couples do that, right? Stay connected. But soon, if I missed a call while I was at the hardware store or tinkering in the garage, the follow-ups came fast. "Where are you? I was worried sick. Why didn't you answer?" One Tuesday at the model railroad meeting, my phone buzzed nonstop. I ignored it. Called back an hour later. She was in tears. "You said Tuesdays were your club night, but you didn't pick up. I didn't know if you were okay." I felt this knot in my gut, like I'd committed a crime by spending 90 minutes with my buddies soldering tiny tracks. Then weekends. Every Saturday she had plans. Drive to her sister's in Maple Grove for brunch, hit the flea market in Cedar Falls, try that new Italian place everyone's raving about in town. If I said I wanted a quiet day to read or fish the creek behind the house, she'd give me that wounded puppy look. "Don't you want to spend time with me?" I thought we were building something. I started saying yes when every bone in me screamed no. Because who turns down someone who just wants your company? At our age, they act like you've hit the jackpot if anyone wants you. So when you're exhausted, when you crave one peaceful Saturday with nothing but birdsong and coffee, you feel like a selfish jerk for admitting it. About 8 months in, my body started sending signals. Every time her name lit up my phone, my neck tightened like I was bracing for impact. One evening she called at 11:15. I'd already turned in, lamp off, listening to the crickets through the screen door. I almost let it ring. But what if it's an emergency? I answered. Nothing urgent, just her venting about a neighbor's loud dog, her upcoming eye exam, how her grandson's soccer game went. We talked 90 minutes, hung up past midnight. I lay there staring at the ceiling, drained in a way sleep couldn't fix. Next day Frank called. "Hey Harlan, bass are biting at Shadow Lake Saturday. Come with?" God, I wanted to. We used to fish those waters with Marjorie and his late wife, Ruth. Quiet lines in the water, no need for chatter. But I knew if I went, Evelyn would want to tag along. It'd turn into picnic talk, bug complaints. Isn't this boring just sitting here? So I lied, said I had chores. That night alone in the house, Marjorie and I rebuilt together. It hit me. My days weren't mine anymore. Money crept in too. On my Social Security and that small pension from 35 years at the feed mill, I was scraping by comfortable. With Evelyn, expenses piled up, dinners at $70 a pop, gas for the drives, Christmas gifts for her family I'd never met. Then she wanted a weekend getaway to the Ozark cabins, $400 for the lodge, meals, souvenirs. I didn't fight it. How do you say no without sounding cheap? But I lay awake running numbers, watching my nest egg shrink. Energy, too. At 65, I'd rise at dawn, tinker with trains till noon, nap if needed. By evening, I was done. Evelyn didn't get it. She'd plan dinner at 7, then swing by her nephews for cards. We'd roll in at 10:30. I'd be wiped, legs like lead. She'd sigh. "My cousin's 72 and still hikes every weekend. You're just not trying." The end came 9 months in. One night over pot roast at her place, she said it straight. "We should move in together. Sell your house or mine. Doesn't matter. We could share everything." I froze, fork halfway to my mouth. That house, where Marjorie and I raised Sarah and little Tommy, God rest him, where we planted the maple in the front yard the year Kennedy was shot. I pictured someone else's routines overriding mine, different coffee time, different bedtime, different quiet. Panic rose like floodwater. I ended it the next week. "I can't keep going," I told her. She cried, asked what she'd done wrong. The guilt nearly drowned me, but I said the truth. I'm not built to share my life anymore. I thought I could be, but I can't. She was hurt, then furious. Sarah was disappointed. Frank shook his head. For a month I felt like the worst man alive. But then mornings changed. I'd wake up and think, what do I feel like doing today? No explanations needed. Back to fishing with Frank at Shadow Lake, silent, peaceful. Model trains humming in the garage, quiet suppers on the porch watching fireflies. And I wasn't lonely. I was calm. Here's the hard truth I finally got. Alone and lonely aren't the same animal. With Evelyn, I was never physically alone, but I was isolated in my own skin, performing a version of myself that wasn't real. That's a deeper kind of empty. It's been 12 years since Evelyn. Haven't dated since, won't. Not because I'm sour, but because I finally see what fear looks like. I jumped into that relationship scared, not of loneliness, but of what people might whisper. Poor old Harlan, all alone. That fear dragged me into something that stole my peace. Now I rise at 5:30 most days, brew my coffee black the way I like it, spend mornings in the garage or down at the creek with a pole, or just sit on the porch doing nothing at all. My grandson comes by sometimes from Riverton. We talk trains and baseball. Sarah finally quit pushing. Last visit she said, Dad, you look lighter these days. She's right. I am. I know a guy, Otis, 81, over in Pine Hollow. Been with his lady friend 7 years. He told me last month at the Legion, I haven't had a full day to myself in ages, but what am I going to do? Start over at my age? That's not love. That's a cage built from fear. At 77, peace isn't some nice to have. It's oxygen. My body can't carry endless emotional weight anymore, so I chose quiet over chaos, and I won't apologize. Sure, holidays sting sometimes. Birthdays feel smaller. But those pangs fade fast. Nothing like the slow suffocation I felt with someone right beside me who still left me invisible. If you're 70, 75, 80 and thinking about dating just because the world says you should, pause. Ask what you're really running from. Because being alone doesn't make you lonely, and being coupled doesn't make you whole. I've got one life left, these final chapters, and I'm living them my way. No more trading hard-won peace for company that costs my soul. I'm 77. I live alone in the house Marjorie and I built, and I'm the most content I've been since she left. That's not tragic. That's earned. If this hits home, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share your own story in the comments. Are you at peace? Tell me.